Yo, this is your boy JSF. So we just got that balance patch that hit on Tuesday, I believe, and I've been a little bit busy, but wanted to make a little quick video kind of showing our frost patch changes, what they mean, what they say, because you know they say certain things but they have implications, you know. Some things are a little bit different. She's more or less the exact same character, but she got a couple of buffs, a couple of things to help her out a little bit, so just wanted to go over those real quick. So I'm just gonna go down the list based on the patch notes or whatever they have on Reddit, which looks like the patch notes. So so to start off, headbutt, which is away front punch startup, is now 11 frames, was 16, and recovers 8 frames faster. So if you know me, one of the things I've been saying Frost needs and doesn't have is a fast mid, and just that her normals overall are really slow and like have a ton of recovery, so when she whiffs it's like death, and on block it's like death. So they kind of killed two birds with this one. So back one, which is what that means, away front punch, back one is now 11 frames, so she has an 11 frame mid, which is super good. She can go into this string. She's got a reliable way to punish moves that are plus or minus 12 or more. Really good change. It has less recovery, as you can see. It's not forever before I can block or move. Overall, just a great change. So yeah, now what you want to do is get a lot of, you know, hold on, let's set her to block so I can kind of demonstrate this. As you know, jump ins are plus 9. You know, that's plus 6. You know, that's plus 15, whatever, jump ins are plus. But you don't want to jump in and do this, which you could get away with, but that jab right there, part of it, you know, you can get down 2 to 4, jump in, go for a throw, you get down 2. Now you can jump in, and that's guaranteed. Because, like, that's plus 5 or whatever. You know, follow-up pressure is basically guaranteed. They really can't do anything about it, you know? You land the poke, immediately go into this. And I'm only canceling it in spin because it's being blocked, but, you know, you kind of just get that. They got to respect that. They can't just duck and, you know, poke or down to anything you want to do now, which is a big thing for her. And also on wake up. So you can wake up pressure because you got a mid now. They can't duck or just jump on wake up and get out of whatever you want to do. Because say somebody's waking up and you want to back to them, you want a meaty back to, that's not as reliable, especially online, because it's so slow, not that active, and they can just get out of it or delay wake up and get out of it. Let's see if they can, you know, let's see them jump out of that on wake up. Probably not gonna work. It gives her like meaty options. It gives her a reliable punish string. It's really good. Like, this is one of the biggest things she was missing. So this is a really good buff overall. Like, you know, everybody who plays Frost is happy about this buff. Like 100% all around a great change. So next down on the list we have Freezer Burn, away front punch, back punch, recovers 13 frames faster. What that means is back 1-2 recovers 13 frames faster. As you can see, it's still slow getting to the second hit. That's why it's so awkward looking. Like, the first hit's really fast and the second hit's slow. That still has 22 frames of startup, but look how fast I can block now. Look how fast I can duck now. Like, it's a lot safer. Matter of fact, it's safe on block, and it was not safe before. I think it was like minus 15. So another good change, just making this string kind of like, before the patch, her all-purpose go-to string was back 2-2, which has flaws because it has a gap. It's 19 frames of startup. It's not very active. It was good. I don't want to say it was good. It was one of her best tools. But now her all-purpose string is going to be this. This is going to be her all-purpose string. You're not really trying to play this game as much anymore. I mean, you still can, especially if they respect it. But you now have the option of going in. And the beauty of this, the untold beauty of this, is 11 frame mid, 10 frame throw. So now, one of her biggest issues was what I was saying is she had basically no crushing blows or useless ones. And I know she had crushing blows on both of her throws. I'm well aware of that. But now it's a viable threat. It's because, like, say, you know, I do this, restand. Let's make her get hit just to, let's take her off block for a second. Oh, we'll do stance. You know, that's a very reliable gimmick, mix-up, whatever you want to call it. Because now, I have that I can do. Like, it's really 10 frames or 11 frames. Like, it's really, like, that opens up the throw game for her, which is something she didn't have before, which, like, was confusing. It's like she has crushing blows on both of her throws, but she has no throw game. She doesn't have any mids. So now, she's got a mid string. So, again, just overall, universally a great change. Something she needed to be playable at a high level. It doesn't fix everything, obviously, but without a fast mid string, she was basically, like, at the highest level, useless, because you would get poked out of everything. You would get, like, there's no reason to respect anything, you know. So anyway, that's what that changes. Now we've got Blizzard away front punch, back punch. Front punch is now a high, 5 less frames of block stun, reduced pushback, and had his hits region adjusted. So if that makes sense to you, it's basically a nerf, but it's not. It's an irrelevant nerf, if that makes sense. Basically, the last hit of the string is now a high instead of a mid. It used to whiff half the time anyway on people duck blocking, so you know it's just gonna whiff all the time. It's not a big deal because there's no reason you should ever do this. There's no reason you should ever do this. Always cancel it in a spin. On hit, cancel it in the micro burst. If you want to get cheeky, you could do something like that. I don't know how good that'll work. Cancel it in oh, you can't cancel it in a head. Yeah, you can't. But if I'm doing this string, I'm canceling it in a spin or micro burst, which is this is on hit, this is on block. And I'll take B at -4. I'll take B at -4 every time because I can crouch. If you try to jab or something at me, I'm gonna poke you. If you try to low poke, I can block it. Now you're negative and it's my turn. We can do that. It's my turn. Well, I can do this. So I'm gonna take B at -4 in your face every time. It's not a big deal. Plus, at this range, sometimes you can get away with backdashing when they try to poke and they completely whiff, and you know you're back in there. So don't be afraid to do this on block. I mean, I'm sure most Frost players know that, but just don't be afraid of doing that. Like, take that B at -4 all the time because it's a mind game. It's a -4 mind game. I can low poke you, I can duck and uppercut you if you try to do anything high. I can jump. I can just block your low poke and then it's my turn. Like, there's no punish for it. So if they get antsy with the buttons, there's that. Now if they have like a 9-frame mid string, all right, you kind of got to hold that. But other than that, it's not a bad place to be. So yeah, that's technically a nerf, but it's not important. You can toss that information out because if you do this, I'm gonna be questioning why you're like what you're doing. So next change, frigid palm down front punch. Startup is now 8 frames, was 9. Recovery on hit increased by 1 frame. On block miss reduced by 2 frames, and hit stun increased by 5 frames. So that's a lot of information to tell you one little thing. Let me turn block off. Tell you one thing. So, well, 2 things. I'm lying. Down 1 is now 8 frames instead of 9, and it has more hit advantage. That's what all that, like, less recovery, more advantage, all of that is just saying, yo, it's plus 15 on hit now, which is great. What that means is, here's what that really means. So, moving mode, stand, duck. What that really means is this. I can do it, right? There we go. So before this patch, she could not jail, and it's still really hard to do because her down or her stand 1 is the worst in the game. But now, down 1 jails and a stand 1, like it should have always done. This is something 90% of the cast can already do, but Frost couldn't do it. Like, her down 1 would not jail into her standing 1. So, and I mean, it's still plus 15. So that still means plus 15. You know, so you can down 1, and that's coming out ridiculously fast. If they have the nerve to press anything and you do this, you know, they're at your mercy. They're at your mercy. So, but the big deal about that change is, well, yes, it's her down 1's 1 frame faster, but I don't think that's a big deal because she had an 8-frame button with this, and it's still 8 frames. she had an 8-frame button. I'm of the belief she needs a 7-frame button, so I don't think that's the big change. The big change is that it's plus 15 on hit. So when you land this, it's your turn. You can even do this. You can down one, you know, reliably go into that. So that, it helps with the poke game in that sense, but everybody else's pokes are still faster than hers, so it doesn't help with the poke game in that sense. Kind of a weird change. I look at, it's good, you know, you're more plus after down one. Like, I'm not going to complain about that, but it seems like a half change to me. Like, they didn't want to commit to giving her a 7-frame down one for whatever reason. Maybe they think it'll be too good because it has a ton of range. Where if she had a 7-frame down one, it would be the best down one in the game, free. It would be maybe second best to Geras, maybe, but it would probably be the best down one in the game. But I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that breaks the character, makes her like ridiculously overpowered. I don't think that at all, especially if she wasn't plus 15 on hit. If she was like plus 10 or whatever, plus 11, like, I don't think that would be a big deal. But looks like we're not getting that. But hey, plus 15 on hit, so after you land a back one, go into this or go into this, or if they know that and just block immediately after they get hit, go for a throw, you know, it gives you that. It gives you a little bit more up close game, a little bit more than you had before, which, you know, it's a buff. I'm not going to complain about it, but I personally, just knowing this character at a high level, consider it a half buff. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to say take it away. Shit, I'm glad we got it, but it's not like some people are saying, oh my god, Frost looks so good now. It's 1.5 buffs, and, you know, yeah. Anyway, so next change, chest hold, down and front kick, recovery on block reduced by 2 frames, recovery on miss increased by 1 frame. Wow, I didn't know that. Hit stun increased by 1 frame and had his hit region adjusted. So basically, hit stun increase. So this is now plus 11 on hit instead of plus 10, which, you know, whatever. Is now only minus 3 on block, which is cool, because this sucks aside from anti-air. It can also be minus 2 if you can get it at that range, which is great. You can do that into that. You're minus 2, and that's coming out in 10 frames. Their characters with 9-frame mid, so that's not the best thing in the world, but it's something. You know, like, this is why I lumped this all in as one change, her down 3 and down 1 change, because they are technically positive poke changes, but it doesn't amount to one substantial buff. That's why I just call it a half buff. I hope that makes sense, because some people are gonna be like, wow, her down 1's great now, her down 3's great now. They're still both 8 frames, so she doesn't have a 7-frame poke. I think they tried to get rid of other characters like Geras, who had a 6-frame down one that could be minus 3 or minus 3 on block, so you could just do it twice, and the second one would come out 9 frames, and you could trade with it or lose to it by doing her buttons. I think it's trying to combat that kind of stuff, but I don't know what Aaron Black's pokes are like on. Like, I know it's down 4 is minus 1, so you know what I mean. It's not, you know, it's not the biggest change in the universe. I sound like I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna just move on. Anyway, so I don't need you to duck anymore. You can stand up. All right. So next change, here we go. Microburst recovers 2 frames faster, recovers significantly faster if the second attack misses. So, you know, not nearly as unsafe on whip. That's all. I mean, you're not really doing that often unless you get in this situation. Hold on. Because this, no, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, anyway, this is just less unsafe on whiff. Not a big deal. So, what's next? Cryogenic crown explosion that is hit region increase. That's for her other variation with her head bomb, which I don't have in this variation. It got slightly more range, and when I say slightly, I mean slightly. I believe it's for corner setups. So if you drop the head off the side of the screen, it can still freeze them, but other than that, not really a big change. That variation is still terrible. Doesn't have a launcher, doesn't get good damage. Yeah, that variation is still really, really bad. And yeah, still a change to it. Next, we have a bug fix issue that allowed Frost to uppercut. That allowed Frosted uppercut down and back punch to be canceled into fatal blow in the first active frame. So basically, I guess you can down to fatal blow as a glitch. I've never done it, but it's gone. Her down 2's trash anyway, so that's gone. And then That's, oh, I skipped. Wow, how did I skip 2 buffs? All right, so Frost Glacier Calvin recovers 5 frames faster, and shield duration is 2 seconds, up from 1.5 seconds. So that recovers faster, and it's on the screen a bit longer. So, you know, I can bust that and quickly down 1. It's cool because if I ever accidentally do this and they react to it and try to hit something, I can probably hurry up and get that out, probably. So, you know, that's cool. Plus, it's, you know, for zoning war, this is really a zoning buff. Like, excuse me. This is really a zoning buff, and I don't think many, if any, people have really talked about it, because not many people talk about zoning in this game, and it's a big part of Frost's game. I'd consider myself the best at zoning with this character. I've never seen anybody do it better. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, this being on the screen longer is good, obviously, but it recovering quicker means you can get back into the zoning game. So you don't have to do this, wait, and then do something. You can do this, get right back into this. So it isn't like you do this and you can get punished. There are certain matchups, like say Liu Kang or something, right? I'm trying to zone him, and I'm trying to throw shield up because he's gonna zone back, and as soon as I shield, flying kick comes in and I'm crushed or something. So it helps out with that kind of stuff a lot. You know, you're not at the mercy of them. Like, it's not like they're zoning you back so much or flying at you so much that you can't shield up. So you kind of can still do that. Kind of just helps out the zoning game a little bit, and it's on the screen a little bit longer, so I can backdash, you know. So with this being on the screen longer, even if you don't zone back, you don't throw any fireballs at me, cool, I can backdash. I can get 2 backdashes in and start a fireball before it's gone. That's pretty good. So that's good for the zoning game. A lot of people think this move is terrible, but it's because they don't know how to zone, or they just don't like to zone. And zoning's a big part of this character. Like, it's one of her strongest tools, and it's not super strong, but it's one of her strongest tools. So yeah, pretty good for that. And then the next change, Glacier Calvin Amplified, recovers 1 frame faster, and shield duration is 3 seconds, up from 2 seconds. So it's just still useless, but it recovers really fast and is on the screen for a long time. I think it moving faster is actually a bad thing. Like, if anything, it should move slower, because you don't want, like, you don't want that away from you. Because then, like, say I do this and then Sub-Zero jumps and throws something over it, or you know what I mean? Like, you want it in front of you, protecting you. Because no matter where you are, if this is right in front of you, it'll hit that first. So this change, kind of useless. This is a wasted meter. Don't ever do it. Huge wasted meter. I think it should absorb 2 projectiles. Then it will be worth doing. Maybe they think that's overpowered. I don't know. But yeah, it's a useless buff. So that is all of Frost's combo change, or not combo changes, balance changes. So overall, we got a fast mid, back 1-2, which is a really good change. We got down 1 is now 8 frames, plus 15 on hit, -4 on block, which isn't great, so you can't really do it twice because your next one's coming out 12 frames, so that's not good. You know, down 3 can be -2 if spaced properly, is normally -3. Still the anti-air, great anti-air move. It's still a terrible poke. The hitbox is horrendous for poking. It's terrible. I mean, it lowers your hitbox in some senses, but you can be hitting the leg. So, like, Liu Kang's still gonna 4-4 you for doing this. And you're gonna whiff if you do this when he is in the middle of 4-4, 4-4, 3-4, whatever that string is. So, it's still a really shitty poke. Really good anti-air, terrible poke. I wouldn't poke with it at all, even though it's -3, -2. Wouldn't do it. Not gonna do you any good. Learn to poke with down 1, so you spin, down 1 after. You know, you can even anti-air. Hold on. AI options. No, we'll just record. That's a little easier. You know, you can even, yeah, you can. I know that's the better one, but I'm just pointing out. If you don't got the muscle memory, do I down 3 or do I down 1, and you want to just do 1 over and over? Wow, down 1 doesn't really lower your hurt box. You got to be further away to get down 1, really. So I guess that's the best way, like high level wise. If you're further away, down 1. If you're closer or anywhere, down 3. It'll just it's great in anti-air. I need to do this more. But yeah, anyway, so that's that change. Back 1, 2, and that's pretty much it. Like, and I'm not upset about what she got in the patch. She got some good changes, but I'm not on the boat of, hey, Frost is amazing now. Oh my god, I think she's mid-tier. She could be high tier. Like, she was the worst character in the game to me before the patch. I know a lot of people would say it was Kotal Khan, but he didn't have some of the problems that she had. And she didn't have some of the problems that he had as well, but he had some strengths that she didn't have, and she had some weaknesses that he didn't have, so I think she was a little bit worse. Now, I think she's better than him. I think he didn't get much in the patch, but I'm not of the belief that she got these amazing changes and she's like the best character. Oh my god, I can beat top tier characters with high level players now. Don't believe that for a second. I don't, personally. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe it. Definitely, if you like playing Frost, pick her. Pick her, have a blast. I've been playing with her since I got the game, which was like 2 days before release. So I've been playing her since before the day 1 patch, but she was worse than she was for release. So if you enjoy playing Frost, play her, but don't pick her now because you think she's good, because you're going to be disappointed. Just want to put that out there in the universe. And yeah, it kind of them not touching this kind of shows that they want her to be more of a this range character now and not a this range character. So all the stuff I played Frost at this range a lot, so I was hoping this got a slight buff. Just because other characters like Katana, Shang Tsung, Scorpion have normals with the same range, maybe slightly better, maybe slightly worse, and they're all faster than 19 frames. So I thought, maybe, plus there's a gap in the string. So I thought maybe, they would buff that, but no. So I got to get used to playing up close. It's cool, it sets up the throw game. You get a little bit of a pressure game. Wow, that's -8. It's safe, but I wonder if you can bait them into pressing something, then punish them with another one. There's some possibilities for pressure. There's a possibility she can punish reliably. So, overall, could change. Just wish she got a little more love. Like, I know she isn't top tier or high tier. But yeah, she got some decent changes. So yeah, from your friendly neighborhood Frost player, have fun and go play some Frost.